Hi everybody, I'm Ben Morland. I'm going to be delivering the Timetabling Basecamp webinar today, and I'll be taking you through what we're covering in this Timetabling Basecamp course. So here is a slide showing you a couple of things that we'll be delivering during this webinar. So why timetabling training, why have we set up Essential, and why have we set up this Timetabling Basecamp training course. Top questions and concerns answered. That's from some of the feedback we've already gathered from the sector about delivering this type of course. I'll introduce you to the Essential team. And then I'll also cover the course content, going through each subject that we'll be delivering during the workshops. And then course dates and also a price offer for everybody who's attended the webinar today. And to finish off, I'll be handing over to the facilitators who will be answering your questions. So if you've got any questions you'd like to ask us, please do type them into the chat box and send them over. And we will be picking out as many of the questions we can at the end. We should allow for 10 to 15 minutes at the end of this webinar to go through those questions. If there's any that we don't have time to get to, we'll follow all of the questions up with an email response to everybody who's attended this webinar, so you can see the answers to each of your questions. So, why timetabling training? Well, software training is available from your usual software providers, but typically this is in person and can be, as a result, be expensive as people got to travel on site to deliver the training. Plus, it covers software only, and there's so much more to timetabling than just timetabling software. For all those other skills, timetabling training is typically done on the job currently, with timetablers either learning from their manager or shadowing other people from within their team, and this really limits their learning to that information and experience already held within their team. There are very few opportunities to collaborate and learn from others outside of their organisation, despite the timetabling sector being so wide. There's no recognised UK HE timetabling training course available as far as we know. So really the next question is, why is training important? Why even bother with timetabling training? So we've done some research into this, and we believe training is key to performance. An IBM Smarter Workforce survey said that 84% of employees in best performing organisations are receiving the training they need, compared with only 16% in the worst performing companies. You can see this as a huge difference. Those in the best performing organisations are confident they're receiving the training they need to be successful in their role. Skilled staff help us to deliver objectives faster and better. An IDC training impact report showed that increasing team skills by 1/3 increases the likelihood of stakeholders meeting their objectives from 10% to 100%, a huge increase as a result of their team having the skills they need. Trained staff are more likely to stay, reducing attrition and helping organisations to build and retain knowledge. So not does it only improve outcomes, it also improves the likelihood that staff are going to stay in your team. So only 21% of new hires intend to stay at companies that do not offer training for their current jobs. However, the study reveals that 62%, this is almost 3 times more of new hires, intend to stay when suitable training is provided. A huge increase that really shows how providing training helps organisations to keep the skills and knowledge within their organisation. So these sort of things are measurable. So I'm just going to show you some stats here from top learning organisations who've used learning technologies to deliver average improvements of a 19% increase in staff satisfaction and engagement, a 24% increase in ability to change procedures or products, a 14% increase in productivity through learning interventions, a 17% increase in customer satisfaction, and a 12% reduction in time to competence, and a 22% reduction in delivery time. So I hope that's given you a good idea of why training is important and how we can benefit your organisation by providing training services.